Shashila ma'am. Yashvindan.
Yes, ma'am.
Yashvindan is here.
Yes, ma'am. Yashwandan joined. I saw his name.
Yes,
Yashvindan.
ma'am.
Okay, ma. When we started, you just start the live stream. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now what is it? After I say, when the program starts, when a video will be displayed. Okay. When the video display start, you can start. Okay. Ma'am Sashila ma'am, you switch on your
Yes, ma'am.
video. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You switch on
Yes,
your
ma'am.
video. Akila ma'am. Okay, welcome you all, ma. Welcome you all to our project day. So, on behalf of our management, senior principal ma'am, ACO ma'am, as well as the rising stars of all 10th standard on all the students. Okay, so we all teachers bless you to. We all teachers bless you to bring this program a successful one. Okay, now the program starts with a video. Okay, after video, the comparing students take over the stage. Yes. Hemanathan, start. Yashwin, start.
Good morning, everyone. How different is this morning? Indeed, wonderful, right? Education is the power to think clearly, the power to act well in the world's work, and the power to appreciate life. Distinguished delegates, Senior Principal Ma'am, ACO Ma'am, my teachers, parents, and dear friends, it is indeed a true pleasure for me to welcome you all to our KNACK 2020. Kinesthetic learners learn best by doing things. Tell me, and I forget. Teach me, and I may remember. Involve me, and I learn. With the golden words of Benjamin Franklin, I would like to announce the themes for today's NAP 2020. The themes are number one, NASA at home, two, my invention during pandemic, 3. Exploring space science during pandemic. 4. Model of COVID-19. We, the rising stars of Grade 10, Ratan Tata Wing, Velammal, Vidhyashram, Surapet, are here to present our projects of those themes. So yes, we all are aware the project day today is taking place virtually, which is a different format than what we are used to. As you all are aware that we are experiencing a very difficult and challenging time due to COVID-19 pandemic. But even during this pandemic crisis situation, our school has given us an opportunity to make the students exhibit their talents. Achievers are not born with silver spoon, but they work hard to achieve their goal. Similarly, a person achieved a lot with his hard work and built an education dynasty, a man of humble. It's none other than our Honorable Chairman M.V. Muthuramalingam sir. Good academic leaders create a vision, articulate the vision, passionately own the vision, and relentlessly drive it to completion. Our Honorable CEO, Velammal sir, is the greatest inspiration to each and every student, and he is the driving force to complete the vision. Young minds are like sponges and they are looking for the right input to be soaked in. We can't think of any other person other than our respected CAO, Nathan Sambandam sir, and our Honorable Director of Academics, Ashok sir. The chief guest for today is Dr. Prameo Arul Prakash sir, who is a consulting homeopath clinical psychologist at Chris Medical Center. It's truly a proud privilege for me to welcome you today, sir. So yes, she is our guideline for our lifeline. Yes, she's also a magician of teaching, magician of moral values, and magician of ethics. And what else should I say about her? Yes, it is none other than our senior principal, Karima Akbar ma'am. I cordially welcome you today, ma'am. Next, she is someone who is being followed every moment. She is our friend. She is a book of knowledge. She is a bloomed flower on the fresh morning with a scent of solace. Yes, it is none other than our respected ACO, Indumati ma'am. We extend a warm welcome to you, ma'am. And finally, I welcome our guiding stars, our mentors, that is, our teachers of Ratan Tata Way. COVID-19 might have separated us, but technology has made us to unite. Over the next few hours, we, the rising stars of Great and Ratan Tata Wing, will exhibit our talents and skills through our projects. The stage is over to Amoha.
Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one day remembers to turn on the light. Special morning, I call upon Atamaramma Muthusundari ma'am to light the lamp. Please, ma'am.
Thank you, dear.
Nandri Tamilamma. Prayer songs are composed by our heart's desires, thoughts, emotions, aspirations, and God really enjoys listening to our prayers and constantly answers through simple but significant miracles. Remember, a busy life makes prayer difficult, but a prayer makes a busy life easier. So let us hear a prayer song by Saraswati.
वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जी, पीड़ पराई जाने रे, पर धुके उपकार करे तो ये मन अभिमान नाने रे। वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जी, पीड़ पराए जाने
Thank you, Sash, for this mesmerizing song. Stage over to
Dance is the most beautiful form of expression of humans' feeling. Dancers are the messengers of gods. I may call upon my friend Miss Kanishka of NA1 for a beautiful start of the show. Wow, that was a mesmerizing performance. Thank you, Kanishka. Over to Chandrakala ma'am.
On behalf of Senior Principal Ma'am, ACO Ma'am, and the appeals to our KNACK 2020
Most of the successful people I have known are the ones who do listening more than talking. So let us listen to some valuable words from our senior principal, ma'am. Please, ma'am. I request senior principal, ma'am, to address the gathering.
Over to Bhavna.
It is my honor and privilege to introduce our chief guest for today, Dr. C. Prabir Arul Prakash, BHMS, MSc Psychology, MBA, who is a consulting homeopath and clinical psychologist. Dr. Prabir Arul Prakash had treated several COVID-19 positive patients over the past several months and has prescribed preventive medicine for COVID to over 3,000 people in his clinic. He has rendered exemplary service to the community by putting up COVID awareness banners around Annanagar and Ambattur and has guided several patients in timely diagnosis and hospitalization for COVID. We welcome you, sir, to our project day. May I request you, sir, to deliver this chief guest address?
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning. Hello. கேக்குதுங்களா எல்லாம் ஆடிபிளா இருக்கா?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
I thank your chairman and CEO and senior principal, ma'am, and SEO and class teachers to give me opportunity to share my ideas with COVID-19. Okay. This year is a special year. நம்மளுக்கு வந்து ரொம்ப ஒரு வித்தியாசமான இயர்ல இருக்கிறோம். ஏன்னா இந்த COVID-19 நம்ம வந்து மார்ச் பிப்ரவரியில நம்ம இந்தியாவுக்கு வந்து நம்ம ரொம்பவே கஷ்டப்படுறோம், எல்லாருக்குமே தெரியும். COVID-19 பத்தி நம்ம ஒரு லாஸ்ட் ஒரு 6 months எல்லாருமே நம்ம படிக்கிறோம், எப்படி வரும், எப்படி போகும், என்ன பண்ணோம் அப்படின்னு நம்ம படிக்கிறோம். ஆனா அதை பத்தின ஒரு ப்ராப்பர் கைடன்ஸ் வந்து கவர்மெண்ட் கொடுக்குறாங்க. நம்ம ஒன்றும் அவங்கள வந்து ஒன்றும் சொல்லக்கூடாது. அவங்க they give proper guidance and advice to people. நம்ம ஆஸ் அ ஸ்டூடெண்டா நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படிங்கிறத பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா வந்து 2 விஷயம் புரிஞ்சுக்குங்க. ஒன்று வந்து அவேர்னஸ் வேணும், நல்ல அவேர்னஸ் வேணும், ஆனா ஃபியர் இருக்கக்கூடாது. நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்குங்க, அவேர்னஸ் வேணும் பட் ஃபியர் இருக்கக்கூடாது. மாஸ்க் வந்து மஸ்ட், எப்பவுமே மாஸ்க் இல்லாம வராதிங்க. உங்களோட நேசல் ஃபேரிங்ஸ், அதாவது மூக்கு பாதையும் வாய் பாதையும் வந்து எப்பவுமே சுத்தமா கிளீனா வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஒருத்தர் பக்கத்துல போய் பேசாதீங்க. உங்க பேரண்டா இருந்தாலும் சரி, உங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸா இருந்தாலும் சரி, உங்களோட டீச்சர்ஸா இருந்தாலும் சரி, யார் பக்கத்துலயும் போய் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பேசாதீங்க. தூரமா நின்று பேசுங்க. எப்பவுமே ஒரு 6 feet அட்லீஸ்ட் இருங்க. ஒண்ணு, நான் பேசுறது உங்களுக்கு கேட்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஹலோ ஹலோ, audible?
Sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay. சூப்பர் மேம். இந்த ப்ரோக்ராம் உண்மையில ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கு மேம். நான் உண்மையில நான் அப்ரிஷியேட் பண்றேன். நல்லா ஆர்கனைஸ் பண்ணிருக்கீங்க. பிள்ளைங்க நல்லா பேசுறாங்க. வெரி டேலண்டட் சில்ட்ரன்ஸ். பட் இதுல நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா வந்து நம்மளோட ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஃபியர் இருக்க கூடாது, அவேர்னஸ் இருக்கணும். ஸோ ப்ரிவென்ஷன் இஸ் பெட்டர் தேன் கியூர். நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கங்க. இது கோவிட் வந்து எப்பவுமே ஒரு கம்யூனிகேபிள் டிசீஸ் கேட்டகரியில வரும். கம்யூனிகேபிள் டிசீஸ்னா ஒருத்தர் வந்து இன்னொருத்தருக்கு பரவும். எப்பவுமே எப்படி பரவுது? டிராப்லெட் இன்ஃபெக்ஷன் சொல்லுவோம். நம்ம மூக்குல இருந்து வாயில இருந்து வர்ற எச்சி இல்ல தும்மல் போடும்போது வர்ற இந்த டிஸ்சார்ஜஸ்ல இருந்து இன்னொருத்தருக்கு நம்மளுக்கு பரவும். அதை ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ப்ரிவென்ட் பண்ணணும். சரிங்களா? செகண்ட் வந்து நம்மளோட இம்யூன் பேஸ் தான் இது வந்து முக்கியமானது. இந்த கோவிட் என்ன பண்ணும் அப்படின்னா வந்து நம்மளோட இம்யூன் சிஸ்டத்தை அப்படியே டிராப் அவுட் பண்ணி லங் இன்ஃபெக்ஷன் வந்து அப்புறம் வந்து ரொம்ப சீரியஸா கொண்டு போயிடும். சரியா? அப்ப நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும்? நம்மளோட இம்யூனிட்டி நல்லா இருக்கணும்னா வந்து வி ஹேவ் ஹெல்தி ஃபுட்ஸ். நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும்? நிறைய டெய்ரி ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ், நிறைய பால், பன்னீர், இந்த மாதிரி இந்த டெய்ரி ப்ராடக்ட் பால்ல இருந்து வர ப்ராடக்ட்ஸ் வந்து நிறைய ஃபுட் எடுங்க. ஒண்ணு. செகண்ட் வந்து விட்டமின் D3 வந்து ஒரு முக்கியமான ஃபேக்டர். ஏன் அப்படின்னா நிறைய விட்டமின் D3 இப்போ கேப்சூல்ஸ் மாத்திரைங்க எல்லாம் வருது. ஆனா நீங்க எல்லாத்தையும் விட நீங்க வந்து வெயில்ல ஒரு 1/2 hour, மார்னிங் ஒரு 1/2 hour, ஈவினிங் ஒரு 1/2 hour நின்னீங்கன்னா உங்களோட பாடி ஹீட் ஆகணும். நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கங்க. உங்களோட பாடி வெயில்ல நின்று ஹீட் ஆச்சுன்னா திஸ் இஸ் எனஃப். மார்னிங் ஒரு 1/2 hour, ஈவினிங் ஒரு 1/2 hour கம்பல்சரி வெயில நில்லுங்க. நல்லது. ஜிங்க் எடுத்துக்கங்க. ஜிங்க் உங்களுக்கு ஜிங்கோவிட்டன் டேப்லெட் வரும். அதே மாதிரி நிறைய உங்களோட ஃபுட்ல வந்து நிறைய நீங்க நார்மலா எடுக்கக்கூடிய புரோட்டீன் ரிச் ஃபுட்டு, கீரைங்க, காய்கறிங்க, ஃப்ரூட்ஸ் எல்லாத்துலயுமே வந்து ஜிங்க் இருக்கும். நீங்க அதை எடுத்துக்கங்க. செகண்ட் ஒன்று வந்து ரிச் புரோட்டீன் டயட் அப்படின்னா வந்து நீங்க நிறைய பன்னீர் எடுத்துக்கங்க, மஷ்ரூம் எடுத்துக்கங்க, சிக்கன் எடுத்துங்க நான்வெஜ் சாப்பிட்றவங்க. அதே மாதிரி வந்து எல்லா விதமான செரில்ஸ் அண்ட் பல்சஸ், அதாவது சுண்டல், அப்புறம் வந்து ராஜ்மா, உங்களோட சோயா, இந்த மாதிரி மொச்சக்கொட்டை, இந்த காராமணி, இந்த மாதிரி வந்து ஒரு நேச்சுரல் டயட்ல நீங்க செரில்ஸ் அண்ட் பல்சஸ் எடுத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா உங்களோட புரோட்டீன் லெவல் கூடும்போது விட்டமின் D3 அண்ட் ஜிங்க் இருந்ததுன்னா உங்களோட இம்யூனிட்டி கூடும். இம்யூனிட்டி கூடும்போது உங்களோட நோய் எதிர்ப்பு தன்மை கூடும்போது ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா என்ன ஆகும்? இந்த நோயில இருந்து நீங்க வந்து எஸ்கேப் ஆயிடலாம். சரிங்களா? ஒன்னு அவேர்னஸ் இருக்கணும். ரெண்டாவது வந்து ஹெல்தி டயட் இருக்கணும். மூணாவது வந்து என்ன விஷயம் அப்படின்னா, எனக்கு ஒருவேளை மைல்டா ஒரு கோல்டு வருது, இல்ல மைல்டா ஒரு ஃபீவர் இருக்கு அப்படின்னா தயவு செய்து ஸ்கூல் பக்கம் வராதீங்க. உங்க வீட்லயே நீங்க ஐசோலேட்டா இருங்க. ஃபீவர் ஜாஸ்தி ஆச்சு அப்படின்னா உங்க ஃபேமிலி டாக்டர் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பாருங்க. இல்லையா நீங்க நேரா போய் இப்போ வந்து கோவிட் டெஸ்ட் நீங்க நேர்லயே போய் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஒரு இஷ்யூமே இல்லை. இப்போ RT-PCR சொல்ற அந்த த்ரோட் ஸ்வாப் எடுப்பாங்க, இல்லைன்னா பிளட் டெஸ்ட், CT ஸ்கேன், இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய பண்ணலாம். உங்களுக்கு நீங்க வந்து டைம் வேஸ்ட் பண்ணக்கூடாது, முக்கியமானது. ஆனா உங்களுக்கு நீங்க 15 years தான் ஆச்சு. உங்களுக்கு மேஜரா ஒன்றும் வராது. ஆனா உங்க அப்பா அம்மா, உங்க தாத்தா பாட்டி, அவங்க யாராவது வயசானவங்க இருக்கிறாங்க, அவங்களுக்கு சுகர் இருக்கு, பிபி இருக்கு, அவங்க வேற எதுக்காவது மெடிகேஷன் பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னா வந்து அவங்களுக்கு ரிஸ்க். உங்களுக்கு பிரச்சனை இருக்காது, அவங்களுக்கு ரிஸ்க். நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கங்க. உங்களுக்கு நீங்க 15 years தான், உங்களுக்கு ஒண்ணுமே ஆகாது. நல்ல இம்யூனிட்டி இருக்கும், நல்ல பாடி ஸ்டாமினா இருக்கும், ஒன்றும் ஆகாது. பட் உங்களோட பேரண்ட்ஸுக்கும் டீச்சர்ஸ்க்கும் இஷ்யூ. அப்போ அவங்ககிட்ட வந்து நம்ம தூரமா இருந்து நீங்க உங்களையும் சேவ் பண்ணிக்கணும், உங்களோட பேரண்ட்ஸையும் சேவ் பண்ணிக்கணும். ரொம்ப ரொம்ப இப்போ வந்துச்சுன்னா நீங்க ஒரு 3 நாளைக்குள்ள போய் டெஸ்ட் பண்ணணும். டெஸ்ட் பண்ணிட்டு உங்களோட அளவு எவ்வளவு இருக்குங்கிறத பொறுத்து ஹாஸ்பிட்டல்ல வந்து உங்களுக்கு அட்மிஷன் பண்ணணுமா இல்ல வீட்லயே குவாரண்டைன் பண்ணணுமா அப்படிங்கிறத வந்து தெளிவா சொல்லுவாங்க. அதை ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும். ரொம்ப ரொம்ப முக்கியம். சரிங்களா? ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா வந்து நம்ம சைட்ல ஆயுஷ் சைட்ல வந்து என்ன பண்றாங்க, கவர்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் இந்தியா வந்து மார்ச் மாசமே ஆர்சனிக்கம் ஆல்பம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு ஹோமியோ மெடிசன் கொடுத்தாங்க. 30 அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு பவர் வந்து இப்போ ஸ்டேட் கவர்மெண்ட், குஜராத் கவர்மெண்ட், தெலுங்கானா, மகாராஷ்டிரா, எல்லா டெல்லி எல்லா கவர்மெண்ட்டும் வந்து ஃப்ரீயா கொடுத்தாங்க. நம்ம கவர்மெண்ட்டும் கொடுத்தாங்க, ஸ்டில் கொடுக்குறாங்க. இப்போ நாங்களும் நம்ம கிளினிக்ல நிறைய கொடுக்குறோம். பட் அதே டைம்ல கவர்மெண்ட்லயும் கொடுத்தாங்க. அந்த மருந்து எடுத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா வந்து உங்களோட பேசிக் இம்யூனிட்டி கண்டிப்பா கூடுது. இப்போ நான் வந்து ஒரு 3000 to 4000 மெம்பர்ஸ்க்கு அங்கே கொடுத்தோம். ஃப்ரண்ட்லைன் ஒர்க்கர்ஸ், பெட்ரோல் பங்க், நம்ம பேஷண்ட் எல்லாருக்குமே, அவங்க ஃபேமிலி மெம்பர்ஸ் எல்லாருக்கும் கொடுத்தோம். கொடுத்து பாசிட்டிவ் ஆனா கூட எல்லாருமே ஏசிம்டமேட்டிக் தான், யாருமே சீரியஸ் ஆகி ஒரு டெத் வரல இன்னைக்கு வரைக்கும். நேற்று கூட ஒரு கோவிட் கேஸ் பார்த்தோம், அதனால ஒரு இஷ்யூமே இல்லை. ரெண்டாவது இந்த கபசுர குடிநீர் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவங்க கொடுக்குறாங்க. அது நீங்க அதோட டோசேஜ் வந்து நிறைய பேருக்கு தெரியல. ஏன்னா வந்து அது வந்து ரொம்ப கொஞ்சம் காரமா இருக்கும். வாரத்துக்கு 3 நாள், ஒரு வேளை இல்லை 2 வேளை, அவ்வளவுதான். வாரத்துக்கு 3 நாள், 1 டைம் இல்லை 2 டைம் தான் எடுக்கணும். அசிடிட்டி இருக்கிற பீப்புள் வந்து சாப்பிட்ட அப்புறம் எடுத்துக்கங்க. அசிடிட்டி உங்களுக்கு அசிடிட்டி இருக்கு, ரொம்ப ஹார்ட் பர்ன் இருக்கு அப்படின்னா வந்து நீங்க சாப்பிட்ட அப்புறம் எடுத்துக்கங்க. அதே மாதிரி அடுத்த வாரம் கன்டினியூ பண்ணுங்க. நான் அதை சாப்பிட்டேன், இதை சாப்பிட்டேன், பப்பாளி அப்படி வந்து கிளப் பண்ணி சாப்பிடாதீங்க. பி கிளியர், தெளிவா இருங்க. எது சாப்பிட்டாலுமே வந்து கரெக்டா அளவோட, டாக்டரோட ஒரு கைடன்ஸோட நீங்க சாப்பிட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா எந்த இஷ்யூமே இல்லை, பயப்படணுங்கிற அவசியம் இல்லை. ரெண்டாவது, நீங்க வீட்டுல கிடைக்கிறது, நீங்க வந்து ஒரு இந்த துளசி இலை, அதே மாதிரி இந்த நவர பச்சிலைன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, நவர பச்சிலைன்னா கற்பூரவல்லி இலை, வெத்தலை, பெப்பர், பூண்டு, ஆனியன், இது எல்லாமே வந்து இட் ஹேவ் சம் மோர் ஆன்டி ஆக்சிடென்ட்ஸ்னு சொல்லுவோம். ஆன்டி ஆக்சிடென்ட்ஸ் அப்படின்னா வந்து உங்களோட பாடி இம்யூனிட்டி கொடுக்கறதுக்கு வந்து அது வந்து ரொம்ப யூஸ்ஃபுல்லா இருக்கும். அதை நீங்க ரெகுலரா எடுத்துக்கோங்க. ஸோ வெயில்ல நல்லா காயணும், நல்லா சாப்பிடணும், ப்ரிவென்டிவா இருக்கணும். இதுதான் கோவிட். வேற ஒன்றும் பயப்படுறதுக்கோ ஒண்ணுமே இல்லை. இப்போ உங்களுக்கு ஸ்கூல் ஆரம்பிக்கிறாங்க ஒரு அக்டோபர் 15 இல்ல நவம்பர் 1st வீக்லயே உங்களுக்கு ஆரம்பிக்கிறாங்க அப்படின்னா எப்படி பார்த்தாலும் ஒரு 10 to 15 மெம்பர்ஸ் கூட உங்களுக்கு கிளாஸ்ல வைக்க மாட்டாங்க. நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கங்க. ஒவ்வொரு பீரியடுக்கும் போய் வந்து கை கழுவுங்க. உங்க கையை வாய் பக்கத்துலயும் மூக்கு பக்கத்துலயும் கொண்டு போகாதீங்க. உங்க ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் பக்கத்துல போய் பேசாதீங்க. பெஞ்சை நல்லா தொடங்க. நீங்க சோப்பு போட்டு கழுவுனா போதும், சானிடைசர் வச்சுட்டே இருக்கணுங்கிற அவசியம்லாம் இல்லை. நல்லா சோப்பு போட்டு கை கழுவுனீங்கன்னா போதும். மூஞ்சி கழுவிக்குங்க. கர்ச்சீப் யூஸ் பண்ணா நீங்க உங்களுக்கு மட்டும் யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க, ரிப்பீட்டடா யூஸ் பண்ணாதீங்க. பக்கத்துல போய் பேசாதீங்க. ஓப்பன் ஏர்ல இருங்க. திருப்பி சொல்றோம், ஓப்பன் ஏர்ல இருங்க. ஓப்பன் ஏர்ல இருந்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு நல்ல ஆக்சிஜன் கிடைக்கும், உங்களுக்கு நல்ல பாடி இம்யூன் கிடைக்கும். புரிஞ்சுக்குங்க, சரியா? ஸ்கூலுக்கு வரும்போது பக்கத்துல கும்பலா இருந்து பேசுறது, ஒன்னா போய் கேண்டீன்ல சாப்பிடுறது. கேண்டீன்ல போய் சாப்பிடுறதே விட்டுருங்க. நம்ம 6 மாசமா ஹோட்டலுக்கே போலியே. இப்ப நம்ம நல்லா தானே இருக்கிறோம். எவ்வளோ எக்கனாமிக்கலா நம்மளுக்கு எவ்வளவு மிச்சம், நம்மளுக்கு எவ்வளவோ இதாவது ஹெல்த்தியா தானே இருக்கிறோம். அதனால முதல்ல இருந்தீங்கனாலே நீங்க வந்து உங்களோட பாடி நல்லா இருக்கும். ஒண்ணு, சரியா? மேடம் டைம் இருக்கா? மேடம் டைம் இருக்கா? முடிச்சிடலாமா?
பேசுங்க சார்.
ஓகே. இது வந்து COVID-19 பத்தின ஒரு அவேர்னஸ். இது எல்லாத்துக்குமே தெரியும். பட் இருந்தாலும் கரெக்டா ப்ராப்பரா இருந்தீங்கன்னா நம்ம இதுல இருந்து வெளில வந்துடலாம். ரெண்டு விஷயம் உங்களுக்கு நான் சொல்லணும் கொஞ்சம் ஆசைப்படுறேன். ப்ராஜெக்ட் டே அப்படின்னு நம்ம வைக்கிறோம், சரியா? ஒவ்வொரு லாஸ்ட் இயர் ப்ராஜெக்ட் டேக்கும் நான் உங்க ஸ்கூலுக்கு நான் வந்தேன். ப்ராஜெக்ட் டே வைக்கும்போது என்ன ஆகுது, பசங்க ஃபோன் பண்ணி பேசிக்கிறாங்க, அங்க இருந்து கொஞ்சம் காப்பி அடிச்சுக்கிறாங்க, கூகுள் இருந்து எடுக்கிறாங்க, சரியா? அப்படி கிடையாது. ப்ராஜெக்ட் டே அப்படின்னா வந்து பார்ட் ஆஃப் லேர்னிங். நல்லா புரிஞ்சுங்க தம்பி, பசங்களா. என்ன, எனக்கும் பிள்ளைங்க இருக்காங்க, நீங்களும் ஒரு 100 பிள்ளைங்க இருக்கீங்க. இது வந்து ஒரு டைப் ஆஃப் லேர்னிங், ஆக்டிவிட்டி பேஸ்ட் லேர்னிங், சரியா? அதை நீங்க ஒவ்வொரு சப்ஜெக்ட் நீங்க தெளிவா படிக்கணும். ஒண்ணு. ரெண்டாவது வந்து இன்னைக்கு யூ ஆர் ஆல் டீச்சர்ஸ், சரியா? 100 பசங்க இன்னைக்கு இருக்கீங்க அப்படின்னா நீங்க எல்லாருமே இன்னைக்கு டீச்சர்ஸ். அப்பதான் உங்க டீச்சர்ஸ் படுற கஷ்டம் உங்களுக்கு புரியும். இப்போ நீங்க கிளாஸ் எடுக்கும்போது நான் பேசினா எப்படி இருக்கும், கமெண்ட் பண்ண எப்படி இருக்கும், இன்னைக்கு நீங்க புரிச்சுக்கீங்க. நீங்க எடுக்கும்போது ஒரு 4 பேர் பேசும்போது ஏன்டா நீ பேசுன, நான் எடுக்கும்போது ஏன்டா பேசுனேன் அப்படின்னு செய்வீங்கல்ல. அப்போ டீச்சர்ஸை பத்தி புரிஞ்சுக்கீங்க. தேர்ட் ஒன், நாலேஜ் ஷேரிங். நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கீங்க. 60 பிள்ளைங்க 100 பிள்ளைங்க நீங்க எடுக்கிறீங்க. 60 பேரோட ஒருத்தர் எடுக்கிற சப்ஜெக்ட் வந்து 60 பேருக்கு ஷேர் ஆகுது, 100 பேருக்கு ஷேர் ஆகுது. அப்ப 100 பேர் வந்து ஒருத்தரை வச்சு நீங்க படிச்சிருக்கீங்க. நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கங்க. சோ ஒரு பார்ட் ஆஃப் லேர்னிங், ஒரு டீச்சர் ஆகுறீங்க, ஒரு நாலேஜ் ஷேரிங், இந்த 3 இருக்கணும் ப்ராஜெக்ட் டேனா. அப்படி இருந்தாதான் இட்ஸ் ரியல். நான் ஒவ்வொரு டைம் ப்ராஜெக்ட் டே போகும்போதும் பிள்ளைகிட்ட கேள்வி கேட்காம வரவே மாட்டேன். இந்த பசங்க வந்து வேற படிச்சிருக்காங்களா, உண்மையில படிச்சிருக்காங்களா, இல்ல வந்து எங்கேயாவது எடுத்திருக்காங்களா, கூகுள் இருந்து எடுத்திருக்காங்களான்னு சொல்லிட்டு செக் பண்ணாம வரவே மாட்டேன். ஆனா ஒவ்வொரு பிள்ளைங்களும் நல்லா பண்றாங்க. உங்க ஸ்கூல்ல எனக்கு நல்லாவே பண்றாங்க. தேர்ட் விஷயம் வந்து கேரியர் செலெக்ஷன். நீங்க 10th வந்துட்டீங்க, எல்லாருமே 10th வந்துட்டீங்க. அன்னைக்கு ஒரு லாஸ்ட் வீக்ல ஒரு பையன்கிட்ட பேசிட்டு இருந்தேன், என்னோட பையனோட ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ட, என்னடா பண்ண போற அப்படின்னா, தெரியல அங்கிள், அப்பா அம்மா சொல்லுவாங்க அப்படின்னா. சரி, நீங்க 9th 10th வந்துட்டீங்க, 9th 10th வந்துட்டீங்க அப்படின்னா நாளைக்கு நான் என்ன பண்ண போறேன், 11th என்ன பண்ண போறேன், என்ன குரூப் போக போறேன், எந்த சேனல்ல போக போறேன், நீட் போறேனா, ஜேஇ போறேனா, ஐஐடி போறேனா, இல்ல ஐஏஎஸ் ஆபீசர்ஸ் போறேனா, இல்ல நீங்க அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு செலக்ட் பண்ணக்கூடிய லெவல்ல வந்துட்டீங்க. நீங்க இப்ப 12 இயர்ஸ் வரைக்கும் தான் பீடியாட்ரிக், 13 ஆச்சுன்னா அடல்ட், 13 ஆச்சுன்னா அடல்ட். நீ உனக்கு எல்லாம் தெரியும், எல்லாமே நீ உன்னால பண்ண முடியும், நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கணும். சரியா? அதனால இப்ப வரைக்கும் ஒரு 6ஆம் கிளாஸ்ல இருந்து 10ஆம் கிளாஸ் வரைக்கும் எடுத்த மார்க்கை வந்து அனலைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. அனலைஸ் பண்ணிட்டு நீங்க எல்லாம் ஹை ஸ்கோர் பண்ணிருக்கியோ அது வந்து உங்களோட இன்ட்ரெஸ்டா நம்ம கன்சிடர் பண்ணலாம். பண்ணிட்டு அந்த லெவல்ல போறதுக்கு நீங்க முடிவு பண்ணுங்க. இது வந்து ஒரு நல்ல டைம். சரியா? இந்த லாக்டவுன் இஷ்யூல வந்து 6 மாசம் நம்ம வீட்லயே இருக்கோம். 6 மாசம் நம்ம வீட்லயே இருக்கிறோம். இந்த விஷயம் ஏன் வந்தது? நீங்க வந்து செல்ஃப் எவாலுவேஷன் பண்ணணும் ஒவ்வொருத்தரும், இந்த டீச்சர்ஸ் அண்ட் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாருமே. நான் என்ன 6 மாசத்துல நான் படிக்கல, என்ன படிச்சிருக்கலாம், நான் ஒரு புதுசா ஒரு லாங்குவேஜ் படிச்சிருக்கலாம், ஒரு கீபோர்ட் படிச்சிருக்கலாம், என்னெல்லாமோ படிச்சிருக்கலாம். ஒரு 6 மாசம் உங்களுக்கு டைம் கிடைச்சது. நீங்க கிளாஸ் இருக்கு, நீங்க கிளாஸ் ஒர்க் பண்றீங்க, எல்லாமே பண்றீங்க. பட் அதே டைம்ல அடிஷனலா உங்களுக்கு டைம் கிடைக்கிறத நல்லா யூட்டிலைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. அதுக்கு 2 விஷயம் சொல்றேன். ஒன்னு ஸ்வாட் அனலைசிஸ், நீங்க எல்லாத்துக்குமே தெரியும் நினைக்கிறேன். SWOT நீங்க நாங்க படிப்போம், ஸ்ட்ரென்த், வீக்னஸ், ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டி, த்ரெட்னு சொல்லிட்டு நீங்க உங்களை அனலைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. ஒண்ணு. ரெண்டாவது ஜொகாரி விண்டோன்னு சொல்லுவோம். ஜொகாரி விண்டோ ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் பத்தி படிக்கிறது. பட் அதுலயும் வந்து நீங்க உங்களோட இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட்டை நம்ம கண்டுபிடிச்சிடலாம். 2 நீங்க கூகுள் பண்ணி பாருங்க. ஏன்னா டைம் இல்லைனாலும் நான் ஷார்ட்டா பண்றேன். இந்த 2ஐயும் வந்து ஒவ்வொருத்தரும் அனலைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. நம்ம 6 மாசமா வீட்டுல இருக்கிறோம், என்ன பண்ணியிருக்கோம், எப்படி பண்ணிருக்கலாம், இனிமே ஒரு 3 மாசம் இருந்தாலும் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படிங்கறத அனலைஸ் பண்ணீங்கன்னா பிள்ளைங்க நீங்க நல்லா படிப்பீங்க, நிறைய டைம் கிடைக்குது. ஒரு 3 மாசத்துல ஒரு நீட் கோச்சிங்க நீங்க முடிச்சிடலாம். நீட் கோச்சிங்க முடிச்சிடலாம். அவ்வளவுதான். இன்னும் லாஸ்டா ஒன்னே சொல்றேன். உங்க சேர்மன் வந்து எனக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும். ஏன் அப்படின்னா வந்து அவர் வந்து ரொம்ப ஒரு பாசிட்டிவான பர்சன். அவர் அடிக்கடி சொல்ற ஒரு வார்த்தை, பசங்களுக்கு படிக்கிறத விட வேற என்ன வேலை. நிறைய டைம் நான் உங்களோட ப்ரோக்ராம் வந்திருக்கேன், உங்களோட ஆனுவல் டேக்கு, ஸ்போர்ட்ஸ் டேக்கு, அதுக்கு வரும்போது சார் வந்து அடிக்கடி சொல்லுவாங்க. என்ன சொல்லுவாரு? பசங்களுக்கு படிக்கிறத விட வேற, டாக்டர்ஸ்க்கு பேஷண்ட்டை பார்க்க விட வேற என்ன வேலை, டீச்சர்ஸ்க்கு டீச் பண்றத விட வேற என்ன வேலை. அதே மாதிரி நான் பசங்களா, நீங்க 100 பசங்க இருக்கிறீங்க, உங்களுக்கு படிக்கிறத விட வேற என்ன வேலை? படிங்க. ரொம்ப மொபைல்ல உட்காருறது, டிவி பாக்குறது, அப்படி சுத்துறது, அந்த மாதிரிலாம் விடுங்க. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் படிங்க. இது நல்ல டைம். என்ன கேட்டா நல்லா உட்கார்ந்து படிச்சு நீங்க மேல வாங்க, அது வந்து பெட்டர். செகண்ட் வந்து இன்னொன்னு சொல்றேன், உங்க இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் சொல்றேன். முத்திரையினால் களிமண் உருபெறுகிறது அப்படின்னு பைபிள் ஒரு வேர்டு இருக்கு. முத்திரை இருக்குல்ல, முத்திரை ஸ்டாம்ப். இப்போ நீங்க உங்களுக்கு விநாயகர் சதுர்த்தி வந்தது, இப்போ நீங்க அது களிமண்ல என்ன பண்றீங்க, ஒரு இம்ப்ரெஷன் வச்சோன்னா அது பிகேம் பிளேயர், அப்படிதானே? அதே மாதிரி இந்த வேலம்மாங்கிற இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் வந்து ஒரு முத்திரை. நீங்க வேலம்மா ஸ்டூடெண்ட், நீங்க அதனால நீங்க களிமண்ணா இருக்கிற நீங்க ஒரு உருவமா ஆகுறீங்க. நல்லா புரிஞ்சுக்கங்க. ஒரு இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் வந்து இட் கிவ் யூ ஷேப். ஒரு டாக்டராவோ, ஒரு இன்ஜினியராவோ, ஒரு ஐஏஎஸ் ஆபீசராவோ அப்படி ஆறீங்க. அப்போ அந்த இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷனை நீங்க மதிச்சு, அந்த இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் நல்லா படிச்சு, அந்த பேரை காப்பாத்தி நீங்க வெளியில வரும்போது தான் உங்களுக்கும் பெருமை, உங்க டீச்சர்ஸ்க்கும் பெருமை. சரியா? தேங்க்ஸ் மேடம், உங்க வாய்ப்பு கொடுத்ததுக்கு ரொம்ப நன்றி. உங்க சேர்மன்.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful speech, sir, and your innovative ideas towards our students, and your blessings are required forever. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Over to Amoha.
Greatness is more than potential. It requires skillful execution of that potential. With these words, you all to our KNACK 2020. Now, 2020 analyzes global problems from multiple perspectives in scientific, social scientific, humanistic, cultural, and propose solution to the global problem by using digital technologies. These apply democratic principles to diverse global context. A warm welcome to all, dear guests and viewers, beginning from NASA at home, or science exploration, or my invention during this pandemic, or COVID-19 model. My friends will provide you with their rich knowledge and their research to share different perspectives of this said topics. The perspective from our home, or as a scientist, or as a political leader. You may experience now by seeing the space exploration model. You can experience the space science. By seeing the COVID model, you can experience the impacts of COVID and the science behind it. This experience can be transversalized to any country, to any environment globally. Most of the friends have used the digital technologies to solve problems and complete their projects in academic as well as personal and professional lives. And they have also applied statistical tools like pie charts and graphs for organizing, analyzing, evaluating, and integrating data. So now here are our projects here are my friends going to exhibit their projects. So the first one, because of class day 1, is going to present his automatic hand sanitizer dispenser.
Good morning to one and all. This is because of class Chennai 1. The project has a automatic hand sanitizer dispenser. It is a device which is used to dispense a controlled amount of soap. If you keep dispenser, you have to press the pump of the non-automatic dispenser, and that also helps in transferring all of the viruses. If you see in this type of automatic sanitizer, you need not press or touch the container. You just in front of the sensor. This also prevents the transmission of powerful viruses and bacteria. Now, and have used an IR proximity sensor, PIP32C transistor, and 1K ohm resistor. This IR proximity sensor detects my hand and sends information to the exposed dispense sanitizer. Now I'll show you. I think you could see. Thank you.
Wow, that was a phenomenal. Next comes a duo of Gokul and Avinash of class 2 to present their hand sanitizer.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. I am Avinash of 9A2.
I am Gokul of 10A2. We have made a model of automatic hand sanitizer dispenser.
In this corona period, hand sanitizer is an essential thing because it can kill the COVID-19 virus, but the use of normal sanitizer bottle becomes very dangerous. When an infected person presses the bottle trigger, the virus may spread from hand sanitizer bottle. We can solve this by using the automatic hand sanitizer bottle. Automatic means no need to trigger with our hand. Just place your hand near the machine. The machine will automatically trigger. Now let's see how it works.
We have used ultrasonic distance meter, servo motor, and Arduino Uno. We can use any other microcontroller too. So, how it works? When we keep our hand in front of the ultrasonic distance meter, with the help of Arduino Uno, it calculates the distance from the hand. Then, if the distance is in the desired rate, it turns the servo motor to 180 degree. The servo motor is connected to the bottle trigger with a thread. If the servo motor is returned to 180 degree, it presses the bottle trigger and our automatic hand sanitizer dispenser works. Hope that it hope that it would be useful to all. Thank you.
Very much
Ma'am,
cool
one
idea,
second.
guys.
Amoga, 1 second. I request everybody to mute yourself except the comparing team. Yes, Amoga, you can carry on.
Wow, that was a super cool idea, guys. Next comes another duo of Hemanathan and Dheeraj Prabhu of class Chennai 1 to present their demonstration of how COVID-19 impacts on human body.
The coronavirus, which causes COVID-19, originated in the city of Wuhan, China. COVID-19 is believed to transmitted primarily through inhalation. Once infected, much people experience mild symptoms including sore throat, headache, fever, dry cough, shortness of breath. However, in such set of patients, the virus attacks the lungs, causing the much more serious infection. Small air sacs in the lungs add oxygen to our blood cells. This oxygen is transported to organ cell tissue. When the coronavirus attacks the cell, it begins to replicate within the cell. The body's immune system attempts to destroy the virus, which results in an inflammatory response that causes fluid accumulation in the lungs. As the lungs filled with fluid, the body available oxygen decreases, when it can be lead organ injury and leads to death. The risk and serious complication increases if the person is elderly or have an dissociated medical condition. Once infected, a person may have no symptoms but can be spread others. What began in the Wuhan has now spread across the globe.
Okay, let me explain how coronavirus invades the lungs. The coronavirus is spread through respiratory droplets that are produced when a person coughs, talks, or sneezes. When inhaled, the virus settles in the nasal passage and starts replicating throughout the body. It takes over the respiratory system's healthy cells along the way. If the virus enters the lungs, it can invade tiny air sacs or alveoli and can cause pneumonia. At this point, the lung will become inflamed and it's harder to breathe. In a CT scan, the lungs will have white hazy patches inside them. This is known as ground glass opacity. Acute respiratory distress syndrome sets in a few days later. The coronavirus and ARDS don't just pass on their own, they can cause significant lung damage or worse. If you are having difficulty in breathing, seek medical attention immediately.
Thank you.
Guys, it was an unbelievable work. Next, then Sachin Kumar of class 10A3 to present his water level indicator in tank.
Hello everyone, I am Sachin Kumar of class 10A3. Today I am going to present about my project water level indicator. Battery of 9 volt, 22 ohms resistor, transistor of DC 547 and LED of 3 different colors. The switch and connecting wires are used to make this project. Water level indicator includes a simple mechanism which helps to detect and indicate the water level over a tank or any other water container. The sensing is done by using a set of 3 probes which are placed at 3 different places on the tank. These are acts as a sensor in the tank, so it helps in indicating the levels of water in the tank. Benefits of water level indicator. It is easy to install, it requires very little maintenance, it is in compact design. Water level indicator ensures no overflows or running of dry pumps. Save any type of tank.
It was undoubtedly an excellent project. Next, there comes Ashwindan of class 10-3 to present his Wi-Fi jammer.
Ashwindan, volume is not there, Ashwindan. Just adjust your volume.
Hi, good morning to one and all. I am Ishwindan, studying in 10th standard A3 session. My project is Wi-Fi jammer.
Amoga, you can carry on the next project, Amoga.
Here comes Devadashi of class 10A4.
Wait, Amoga, wait.
Now his audio is clear,
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Yes, ma. You can carry on. Yes, you can carry on.
So next project, ma'am, I will.
Yeah, yeah. Amoga, you carry on the next project, ma.
Vidhyashram of class 10A4 to present her on exploring space science.
Hi,
Greetings to
good
all my
morning to one
mentors,
and
chief
all.
guests, and
I am
friends.
Ishwindan,
I'm Yes
studying
Devadashmi
in
of class
10th standard
10A4 here to
A3
explain about
session.
asteroid mining. Firstly, I would like to say
My
thanks to my
project is
respected
Wi-Fi
teachers
jammer
who gave me
using
this
Node
golden
MCU
opportunity to express my views among you all in this pandemic.
ESP8266.
And now let's get started.
First of all, we have to know about what is Wi-Fi jammer. Wi-Fi jammer will transmit the signal and blocks the Wi-Fi.
Out of this model is an example of shaft mining in which a mine is dug into the asteroid and materials are extracted. This requires precise knowledge to engineer accuracy of astrolocation under the surface and a transportation system to carry the desired ore to processing facility. This is an S-type asteroid. This contains numerous metals like iron, nickel, cobalt, and more valuables and rare metals like platinum, gold, and rhodium. More information can be seen in my upcoming PPT. What is an asteroid? Asteroids are small rocky objects that orbit the sun. Most of the asteroids live in the main asteroid belt, a region between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Asteroid mining is the exploration of raw materials from asteroids and other minor planets, including near-Earth objects. By asteroid mining, based on known terrestrial reserves in both developed and developing countries, key elements on Earth would exhaust within 50 to 60 years. It has been suggested that elements from asteroids can be mined and sent to Earth. Three options for mining. First, bringing raw asteroidal material to Earth for use, or process it on the site to bring back only processed materials that would perhaps produce propellant for the return trip, or transport the raw asteroidal material to a safe orbit around the moon or Earth, or to ISS. Here, ISS stands for International Space Station. This can hypothetically allow for most material to be used and not wasted. Asteroid mining offers the possibility to revolutionize supply of resources vital for human civilization. Preliminary analysis suggests that near-Earth asteroids (NEA) contain enough volatile and high-value minerals to make the mining process economically feasible. There is no limit to infinite growth. Thank you.
That was an amazing project, Lakshmi. Next comes Karen Raj of class 10A4 to present project on schools during COVID-19.
Hello everyone. I'm Kavin Raj of class 10A4. I'm gonna explain about education during COVID-19. What is this project all about? This project is about creating awareness on people about the COVID-19 and the purpose of the schools during this pandemic. And the main aim of this project is to bring out what school for during this COVID situation. Educational decline. As we can see the chart, only the need of food and healthcare have raised and the educational sector has decreased. And this is mainly due to this COVID-19. Shutdown of school. It was on 12th of March when the most of the schools were shut down or closed worldwide. And this graph shows us how the schools were shut down quickly over the time. What would happen if the schools reopened? Older children spread the coronavirus just as much as adults, large study reveals. The study of nearly 65,000 people in South Korea suggests that school reopenings will trigger more and more outbreaks. Children younger than 10 transmit to others much less often than adults do, but the risk is never zero, and those between the age of 10 and 19 can spread the virus at least as well as adults do, and this case can be called carriers. Carriers are nothing but the people who has the ability to transmit the virus being asymptomatic on their own. And now coming to teachers. Nearly 24% of the teachers are at great risk of serious illness if infected with coronavirus. That is, almost one-fourth of the teacher population and even the adults are at the same risk. Google search. The Google search volume for the term online courses have been increased tremendously over the past 6 months. This is mainly due to this pandemic and where the children wanted to learn from the internet. And at this point, I want to say you few words. I got 3 words for you. Children may die. This is a death trap. It is highly impractical to have 40 kids in a classroom with socially distancing. And you know, these school bathrooms don't even have soap. And it is said that kids are strong and more protected in COVID-19. Besides, and no one and their grandparents are more trouble. Virtual may not be ideal. Hospitals are over and borders are closed. But you want kids to go to school and play Corona tag. I learn more skills watching YouTube videos than I did in class. E-learning is inevitable, but it needs reform. It cannot be accepted as it is. Teachers, now coming to teachers. Teachers are the most important factor for a student's success, which is why we should treat them with more respect. I mean, they give their best, and once again, they are ones we neglect. We have given them the short end of the stick. But are we going to pay the medical bills for these great teachers when they get sick? Teachers are the only ones who sacrifice their entire lives for their students. I do accept the statement, but we as students never wanted our teachers to be affected by the virus. Socialization and hanging with friends is needed for a healthy mind, and the only way I think physical class could work is if we have it outside our class. Yes, outside learning is what they did during the Spanish to distance, follow all protocol for prevention, fresh air and vitamin D, which are proven to boost our immune system in an outside classroom, and the rest of the class should be online. And I'm sure that all of our teachers would remember their good old days when they learned under the shades of the banyan tree. Now, when in class, follow all the guidelines like mask and face shield to protect the eyes and get creative. Let students polish themselves for every day of safe behavior, and they get points. If they get enough points, we encourage them by giving gifts. And now I would like to end with one last thing. One life lost is one too many. Let's be apart to do our part. Thank you. That's me time.
It was a wonderful effort, courage. Next comes S. Santosh of class 10A2 to present his project on hologram and projector.
Hello everyone, I am Santosh and I have made a working model. The project name is called Hologram. It's a very simple project and it requires only a transparent glass sheet. And I have made the glass sheet into a pyramidal shape and I have cutted the bottom part. And friends, I have made another project is projector. Now let us see the structure of the projector. This is the phone. I have kept it upside down, and this is the stand for the phone. And here I kept a bulb which projects the light, and I poured water into it.
That was a wonderful project, Santosh. Comes Varun of class 10A4 to present his project on soldering of iron.
I am Varun of class 10A4. I am going to explain about soldering iron. The soldering iron is a tool used in soldering. Solder is a metal alloy usually made up of tin and lead, which is melted using the soldering iron. The soldering iron gets heat up to 600 degree Fahrenheit and then cools to create a stronger bond. The soldering iron is composed of a heating element and a metal tip. There are two types of soldering iron, simple iron and a cordless iron. Simple iron works in the presence of electricity, whereas the cordless iron works in the presence of a battery. The soldering iron works when the electricity is supplied to the soldering iron. The heating element gets heated and transfers the heat to the tip of the soldering iron, where the solder gets melted and forms a stronger bond. The soldering iron is for useful for making jewelries, electronic works, and homemade projects. There are two types of soldering processes: hard soldering and soft soldering. The process in which the soldering alloys contain silver is known as hard soldering, and the process in which the soldering alloy contains tin and lead, it is known as soft soldering. Thank you.
It was
Ma'am,
an
can I do next one?
amazing.
Ishwindan, ma'am.
It was an amazing project, Varun. Next comes Karthik Anand of class 10A1 to present his project on my invention during COVID-19.
Good morning, guys. I'm Karthikanan of 10A1 here to explain you all about my project. That is controlling a car with help of a smartphone through Bluetooth. Before I start explaining my project in detail, I'd like to thank teachers who gave me an opportunity in this wonderful stage. And I also want to thank teachers who put a lot of efforts to bring me a new experience of Project Day through this online platform. Today, I want to tell you about my project which I made in this quarantine. For this, I have used an Arduino UNO board, HC05 Bluetooth module, and motor shield as main objective, and other common things like TT gear motor, wheels, and 2000 mAh battery, which helps the car to sustain running for long time. And I have also used a fiber base for placing all this. Having Arduino board as a main source, I have connected a motor shield on it. Motor shield is nothing but which allows you to simply control the motor direction and speed with the help of the Arduino. By allowing you to simply address the Arduino pins, it makes very simple to incorporate a motor into your project. It also allows to power a motor with a separate power supply of up to 12 volts. Moving forward, I've connected the HC05 Bluetooth module to the motor shield using 4 pins. They are TXT, RXT, ground, and VCC. Here, the TXT means transmitter, RXT means receiver, and VCC as power supply. I've connected the transmitter of the Bluetooth to the receiver of the motor shield. Similarly, the receiver of the Bluetooth module to the transmitter of the motor shield, which helps in the transfer information among them. And for power supply, I have connected the VCC of the Bluetooth module to the VCC of the shield. And remaining one pin is for ground. Talking about motors, I have connected the each motors to a motor shield separately instead of giving direct connection because it helps to control the direction of each motor. In some cases, all the motors cannot rotate in same direction. Example, if you want to make the car turn right, the left side wheel will rotate in forward direction and the right side wheel will rotate in backwards. You may also have a question in your mind, why the right side wheel should turn backward instead of being at rest. Answering for that, while turning a car, when the two sides of the motors run oppositely, it reduces the area required to run a car. For much clarification, you can see in the picture here, you will be able to notice the difference between a normal car turning to the car that I have used. After connecting all wires and pins, don't you think that I have to control the car by insisting them? Of course. For that, I've programmed the Arduino board by using a language called Embedded C. I have also shown you the programming of this car in the PPT. I'd like to give some information regarding my program. Here, I've used 4 TT gear motors, which I named in the program as Motor 1, Motor 2, Motor 3, and Motor 4. Here on the screen, you'll be able to see two words, void setup and void loop. Void setup is used to insist the Arduino to do the work for only one time. In voice setup, I have insisted the baud rate of the Bluetooth as 9600 as it is the maximum value. You will be able to see another word as void loop. Void loop is used to repeat the action again and again. In void loop, I am insisting the Arduino to read the command that I give each time from my phone. As we need the motors to run at a specific speed, I am giving a power of 255 for each. Next step, I have insisted the motors to run at clockwise when I press forward. Similarly, in anti-clockwise when I press back. For moving right and left, as I already said, for moving in left direction, the right side of the motors will rotate in forward and the left side of the wheels will move backward. Similarly, for moving right, the left side wheels will move forward and the right side wheels will move in backward. For stopping the car, I've insisted the motors to run at a zero speed if the command is not there. Till now, I was talking about the functions of a car. For controlling an object, we need a controller, right? Controller helps in insisting an object or thing to move in the correct path, like how parents or teachers does for us. As a controller, I've used my mobile to control my directions of my car by connecting the mobile to the module through Bluetooth. And the following video is my working project.
Hi. Good
Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. It's a minute project. Here comes Ashwin of class 10 to present his project of Wi-Fi jammer.
Hi. Good morning to one and all. I am Ishwindan, studying in 10th standard A3 session. My project is Wi-Fi jammer using Node MCU ESP8266. First of all, we have to know about what is Wi-Fi jammer. Wi-Fi jammer will transmit the signal and blocks the Wi-Fi. It prevents data theft and blocks Wi-Fi hidden cameras, especially in research centers and companies. Why we need to use Wi-Fi jammer? In smart device or computer, when we turn on the Wi-Fi jammer device, we can completely cut off the Wi-Fi signal. This can prevent hackers hacking our privacy data. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are used in day-to-day life. By providing some link, hackers try to steal our privacy data and live location and our camera. Research show that under Wi-Fi radiation for a long time may cause harm to human brain. How will Wi-Fi jammer works? I program Node MCU with Arduino IDE. So Wi-Fi jammer will transmit recognize radio waves at the same frequency as a Wi-Fi. Then radio waves become neutral and Wi-Fi cannot transmit the signal. Now I'm going to show how to jam the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi jammer has been connected to my system for the power. Now I connected the Wi-Fi which comes from this module. By entering the IP address, it will load the HTML page. Next, I selected my Wi-Fi. In my computer, some random video is going on in YouTube. Now I started my attack and I refreshed my YouTube page. Now you can see my Wi-Fi is gone. Now I stopped. I can also create clone of my Wi-Fi. I selected my Wi-Fi and started cloning it. Now you can see how many number of Wi-Fi showing same name. So the hackers could not easily identify which one is real. Hence, hacker is prevented easily. Thank you all. Thank you for giving me opportunity to explore my talent.
It was a very informative project. Over to Bhavana.
Now I call upon Lakshmika of class 10A2 to present the structure of kidneys.
Hi everyone. A warm welcome to everyone. I am Lakshanika. Today I am going to show about the excretory system. Excretory system contains
a pair of kidney, a pair of ureter, a urinary bladder, and urethra. Kidneys are the bean-shaped organs which is present in the either side of the backbone in the abdomen below the ribcage. Kidneys receives blood or water from the body and filters the waste materials with the help of a millions of structural and functional units called nephrons. These nephrons helps to filtrate all the waste substances like urea, uric acid, amino acids, and other toxic substances in the dissolved form. After these are filtered, the urine is created in the kidney. After the urine is created, it is passed through this long tube called the ureter, which connects the kidney and the urinary bladder. After the urine is passed through this ureter, it is collected and stored in a muscular organ called urinary bladder. Then the urine is passed out through the urethra when the urge is created to pass out the urine. Now let us see it. Now the body is sending water or blood to the kidney. The kidney receives and filters it, and it is sent through this ureter and it is stored in the urinary bladder. Now it will be passed out when the urge is created. Now let us see some viral infections which cause damage to the kidney in my PPT. The excretory system, kidneys. As we saw, these are the parts in the excretory system. This is the model of excretory system. Kidneys are the bean-shaped organ as we saw, and it filtrates salts, amino acids, etc. and dissolves waste as urine. Functions of excretory system, kidneys. Kidneys create hormone which maintains bone health and regulates blood pressure. Viruses causing kidney disease. Viral infections such as Epstein-Barr virus, cytomegalovirus, polyomavirus causes specific disease in kidneys. Diabetes and high blood pressure too causes kidney disease. You can see that the right kidney is affected by the viral infection and the left kidney is a healthier one. Precautionary measures. These precautionary measures ensures us a healthy kidney. We should be stay hydrated always. Drink plenty of fluid as much you can. Eat a balanced diet. Watch your blood pressure and diabetes regularly. Reduce your stress and do your regular physical exercise. Some people suffering with severe cause of COVID are also showing signs of kidney damage. Even those who had no underlying kidney problems before, they were affected with the coronavirus. So these precautionary measures are very important to have a healthy lifestyle. Not only these precautionary measures ensures to keep our kidney safe, it also ensures our body to be safe. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakshanika. That was amazing. Now, let's welcome Lalitya Krishnan of class 10A3 to exhibit his rope car.
Good morning, everyone. I am Lalitha Krishnan of class 10A3 has done a project on cable car. This is my project cable car. This is how it works. Let's know some information about cable car.
On the morning of 2nd August 1873, Andrew Smith Hady invented the cable car in San Francisco. Andrew Smith Hady was born on 16 March 1836 in London, in UK. At the age of 37, he invented the rope car, and he died at 24 April 1900 in San Francisco at the age of 64. This is the mechanism how cable car works. This is the model in which the cable car works. How cable car works? Cable car have no engine or motor. The power source is centralized in the cable car and the powerhouse. Their powerful electrical motor giant winding wheels that push the cable, which lead to the motion in the cabinets of cable cars. Cable cars are often considered as continuous system since they feature of rope which continuously move and circulate all around the two terminal station. What are the uses of cable cars? Cable cars are used to transport the passengers and goods. The cable cars are mostly used to transport between two hill stations. What is the speed of cable car? The speed of cable car is between 10 km per hour to 20 km per hour. The capacity of a single cable car line can carry upward of 20,000 passengers daily. Accommodation of cable car. In the cable car, each side 4 passengers can accommodate and totally 8 passengers can accommodate in one cable car. Gulmarg cable car. The Gulmarg cable car is located in Jammu and Kashmir of India. Is the second highest cable car in the world and Asia's highest and longest cable car project with a total length of 2.5 kilometers. Bana Hills cable car is the world's longest and highest cable car which is present in Vietnam with a total length of more than 5 kilometers. There are more than 20 cable cars in India. Some of them are Gulmarg, Darjeeling, Raigarh, Mussoorie and Sonang Valley. Thank you.
Thank you, Lalita Krishnan. That was impressive. कोरोना कोरोना हाय कोरोना, चारों तरफ है रोना रोना रोना, हम सबको मिलकर है लड़ना, बाहर से कोरोना को है भगाना। नमस्ते, मैं हूँ भावना, कक्षा 10वीं की छात्रा। आइए सुनते हैं पिया जैन का गाना।
कोरोना भारत में फैलने से है रोकना, हाथों को धोकर फिर मास्क पहनना, डिस्टेंस बनाए रखना, कोरोना दूर होना, कोरोना दूर होना, कोरोना से है बचना, कोरोना से बचना। कोनी पर है खांसना, मुंह को नहीं है छूना, घर में रहो सभी, सड़कों को कर दो सुना, तीन तरफ सबकी बातें, ध्यान अपना हमको रखना, कोरोना को इंडिया से भगाना है अपना सपना, सैनिटाइजर को अपने हाथों में लगाना, सारी इन बातों ने कुछ इरादों ने कोरोना को डरा दिया, कोरोना दूर होना, कोरोना दूर होना, कोरोना से है बचना, योगा फिर कोरोना। थैंक यू।
Thank you for the fantabulous performance, Pia. I call upon our super duo, Aksharini and K. Pooja of class 10A1 to present their invention during COVID-19.
Good morning to one and all who have gathered here. This is a small analysis. Let's get into it.
Pooja, no sound, Pooja. No volume.
Sorry, ma'am.
No issue. You can carry on.
What do you know about coronavirus? Coronaviruses are a group of RNA viruses that can cause diseases in mammals and birds. In humans and birds, they cause respiratory tract infections that can range from mild to lethal. How will it spread? Current evidence suggests that COVID 19 spread between people through direct, indirect, through contaminated objects or surface, or close contact with infected people via mouth and nose secretions. These are the COVID 19 transmission routes through droplets, direct contact, and indirect contact. What are the symptoms? The most common symptoms are fever, dry cough, tiredness. The less common symptoms are itches and pain, sore throat, diarrhea, etc. These are the symptoms of novel coronavirus: fainting, dry cough, fever, respiratory distress, chest pain, headache, malaria, fatigue. To prevent the spread of COVID 19, clean your hands often, use soap and water or alcohol based hand rub. Maintain a safe distancing from anyone who is coughing or sneezing. Wear a mask when physical distancing is not possible. Don't touch your eyes, nose, and mouth before washing your hands. Cover your nose with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Stay home if you feel unwell. If you have a fever, cough, or difficulty breathing, seek medical attention immediately. These are the preventive measures we should take. Social distancing, stay home, wash your hands properly, use a sanitizer to clean your hands, wear a mask which should be cleaned regularly. Causes of coronavirus. The virus appears to spread easily among people and more continues to be discovered over time about how it spread. Data has shown that it spread from person to person among those in close contact within about 6 feet or 2 meters. India's response. The Government Response Range Index is a score assigned to countries by researchers at the University of Oxford based on 7 indicators such as closure of school and workplaces and restrictions on travel, etc. The higher score means country has taken stricter measures. Conclusion. The World Health Organization declared the novel coronavirus outbreak a public health emergency of international concern on January 30. Public health organization means like one implemented in China and now around the world will hopefully blunt the spread of COVID-19 virus while treatment and vaccines are developed to stop it. So please stay home, stay safe to stop COVID-19. Over to Akshaya.
Our project is to prevent coronavirus. This is a dispenser for COVID-19. Usually, a dispenser is a machine or container from which we get something. I have placed water, sanitizer, and hand wash. I have used air pressure theory. In the first case, when I open the cap of water container, the water gushes out. I hope you all could see. When you close the cap, the water stops immediately. In the same way, if I open the cap of sanitizer, the sanitizer comes out. When I close, it stops. Similarly, it works with the hand wash also. Hence, the aim of our project is Go Corona. Thank you.
Thank you, Pooja and Akshaya. That was wonderful. Now, let's welcome Vijay Balaguru, Jai Krish, Sanjay, Someshwar, Pranesh, Mukesh, and Surya Kumar to discuss with us a variety of topics such as Denial Lucas ruler, COVID-19 reinfection, a myth or reality, triangular numbers, and pentagonal numbers.
Good morning, everyone. We as a group are here to present our statistic and arithmetic observations along with our overview of COVID-19. Let us start with COVID-19 reinfection, myth or not.
In this we are going to see about what is COVID-19, about stats about COVID-19, the strange case which is called the reinfection, and the conclusion about it. About coronavirus. Now I am going to tell about what is COVID-19. COVID-19 is a contagious viral disease which is same like an cold or fever, but severe implications about it. This disease has no proven vaccine till now, but they believe that they can create one.
Stats about coronavirus. When we look at the statistics related to the cases, deaths and recoveries, we find that there are slightly more than 60 lakh cases. These enormous numbers generally provoke fear among us, but in the next few bars, we see that the rate of recovery is quite good and there are very few deaths. By seeing this, we let out a sigh of relief as recoveries are increasing. However, there is a special exception in this that we are going to see next.
The strange case of reinfection. It is generally believed that people who have already been infected and recovered from the disease cannot be infected again by the same disease. This holds true for most diseases like chickenpox that we already know. This was anticipated for COVID-19 as well. However, reinfections of COVID-19 have been reported worldwide. Ever since the first report of reinfection in Hong Kong, all over the world, reinfection has spread. In India, the Bengaluru reported the first ever case of reinfection. Reinfection cases since then have been on the rise. So this event gives us three main effects. Number one, as reinfection is possible, even recovered people need to be provided further protection. This means we need to double up the number of masks, sanitizers, and this expands our budget. It makes the need for a vaccine even more important, as we need to vaccinate the uninfected, the infected, and the recovered. It also means that the COVID-19 pandemic will last longer than expected, as reinfected people may start spreading the disease even more.
Conclusion. From the above slides, we can clearly see that there are possibilities for a person to get infected, even though he or she has already been infected and recovered from the virus. In order to reduce such cases in our country, we need to reach out to the people residing in rural areas and make awareness among them. This way, we can reduce the total number of coronavirus cases in our country. What has to be done by the people to reduce the cases? Even though a recovered patient has the required memory cells and the confidence to beat the virus, they have to stay safe and abide by the protocols. What has to be done by the government? The government needs to expand sanitizing process and accelerate vaccine research. They have to implement strict rules to follow the coronavirus protocols. Protecting yourself and preventing the spread of the disease. Wash your hands with an alcohol-based sanitizer or with soap and water. Keep a distance of at least 1 meter between yourself and anyone who coughs or sneezes. Try your best not to touch your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. Cover your mouth and your nose with your bent elbow or tissue when coughing. Seek medical attention if you have difficulty in breathing and a high fever. Follow the directions of your national or local health authorities.
Now, we are going to look at an incredible mathematical phenomenon known as triangular numbers.
Hi friends, good morning. I am going to explain about triangular numbers and pentagonal numbers. Before going to the topic of triangular numbers and pentagonal numbers, we have to know what is figure-eight numbers. From the word figure-eight itself, we can easily understand that figurative numbers are a set of numbers which is generalized in the form of triangle or any other different shapes or different dimensions. When we saw about figurative numbers, we have to know who discovered it. Figurative numbers were first studied by Pythagoras in the 6th century. Triangular numbers. When we represent numbers in the form of triangles, it is called triangular numbers. In general, the nth triangular number is n of n plus 1 over 2. For example, if we take the numbers 1, 3, 6, 10, we get triangle as shown in the figure. Pentagonal numbers. When we represent numbers in the form of pentagon, it is called pentagonal numbers. Each pentagonal number is the sum of three triangular numbers. For example, we take numbers 1, 5, 12, 22, 35 and we get the pentagon as shown in the figure. This pattern can be used to find the nth pentagonal number, which is the composition of the nth triangular number and the n minus 1 triangular number times 2. That is n of n plus 1 by 2 plus n minus 1 of n. Advantages of figurative numbers. The study of figurative numbers continues to be a source of interest to both amateur and professional mathematicians. Figurative numbers have an appeal to mathematicians because they can be studied both arithmetically and geometrically. Properties that might be difficult to discover by algebraic techniques alone are often revealed by simply looking at the figures. Thank you.
Ever since the beginning of counting, we have always wondered easier ways to do arithmetic operations. Here is one such tool, a Chennai-Lucas rule.
What are Chennai-Lucas rulers? It is an arithmetic tool invented by Henry Chennai in 1891, who was a railway engineer in France. This tool is a variant of Napier bones. These bones are similar to the rulers, which follow the principle of lattice multiplication. There is an interesting origin for these rulers. A French mathematician, Edward Lucas, posed the arithmetic problem in the session of Academy Française in 1885. Chennai presented his invention in 1881 in order to answer Lucas' problems. The popularity of Chennai rods were widespread but short-lived as mechanical calculator soon began to displace manual arithmetic methods, and thus Chennai-Lucas ruler paved the path for introduction of calculators. Types and uses. Generally, there are two types of rulers. They are multiplication and division rulers. The sense of these traits are respective their arithmetic operation, but there is one limitation, that is any number can be multiplied or divided by only a one-digit number.
Let us now see the demonstration of Chennai-Lucas ruler used for multiplication.
This is the model of Chennai-Lucas ruler used for multiplication. Let us take an example to show how it is useful for multiplication. Now we can multiply 9054 with 5 using this ruler. To calculate this, first we should arrange the rulers of 9, 0, 5, 4 with the index ruler. While calculating, the first number always lies in the topmost right corner of the particular index box. Here, index is 5. The topmost right corner is 0. From 0, it goes down to the funnel to 7. And from 7, it goes to 2. Since 5 to 9 goes to 2. And from 2, the funnel goes and leads to 5. From 5, it leads to 4. Therefore, the answer will be 4, 5, 2, 7, 0. When we are calculating, we should start from right to left. And when we are writing the answer, we should start from left to right. When we are multiplying 9054 with 5, it gives us 45,270. Like this, we can multiply using this.
Let us now check whether the answer is right or wrong. Yes, it's right. Perfect. Thank you.
In the above video, we saw the application of Chennai-Lucas ruler for multiplication. Now let's see the application of Chennai-Lucas ruler for division. Hi guys, let's here discuss about how Janani Lucas ruler works for division. For our clarification, let's check how this works by taking an example such as 2804 divided by 7. Before entering into the calculation, we need to know one particular rule, that is, for every division calculation by Janan Lucas ruler, we need to place the index ruler at the first and the remainder ruler at the end. Now, as you can see, the rulers are arranged in order. The second, eighth, zeroth, and fourth ruler are the dividend ruler, and the index ruler has the divisor. Here, we need to take the answer from left to right. That is, the first number at the second ruler is 0, which leads us to 4 in the eighth ruler, which leads us to 0 in the zeroth ruler, which leads us to 0 in the fourth ruler. Here the last ruler, that is the fourth ruler, has 0, which leads us to 4, which is the remainder in the remainder ruler. Now the answer is 2804 divided by 7 is quotient is equal to 400 and remainder is equal to 4. Let us check this with a calculator. We know that dividend equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Here the divisor is 7 and the quotient is 400. Therefore, 7 into 400 is equal to 2800 plus remainder is equal to 4, which is equal to 2800. This is our dividend. So, our answer comes correctly. Finally, use gloves and mask wherever you go. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay Balaguru and team. That was mind-blowing. Now, I call upon Jagannathan and Kavin Chaudhary of Class 10A1 to present their invention during COVID-19.
I am Jagannathan of 10A1 here to explain how this gyroscope works. First, I have connected a battery with a switch and a motor and series. When the small CD rotates simultaneously in all directions, it defies the big CD. It helps the big CD to defy the gravity and maintains in a straight stand position. Let's see how it works. It works like this. When we drive motorbikes and bicycle, when the wheels of this motorbikes and bicycle rotates, we don't fall down due to this mechanism only. Thank you.
Good morning all. I am Praveen Chaudhary of Chennai. This is my project of earthquake alarm. I have connected a 9-volt battery, a switch and a buzzer in a series connection. When the earth shakes during an earthquake, the copper wire touches the steel pin so it does a buzzing sound like this during an earthquake. Thank you.
Thank you, Jagannathan and Praveen. That was fabulous. Now, here is Kokul and Nitin Kumar of Class 10A4 to present their LED distance indicator.
Good morning to one and all who have gathered here. Myself Nitin Kumar and Gokul here to present our project LED distance indicator under the category My Invention During Pandemic. Now my friend Gokul do will do the materials required and the mechanism of our project. Over to Gokul.
Good morning all, this is Gokul from 10A4. I'm here to explain the mechanism of LED distance indicator and the materials required. So you can see here the ultrasonic sensors, Arduino Uno, LED bulbs and resistors and buzzers. So here you can see a circle which is being considered as an obstacle. So you can see here the LED bulbs. So now at this distance the green light indicates that the object can keep moving slowly, and when it comes a little bit closer to the sensor, now the object indicates as now the yellow light indicates that object is getting nearer to the obstacle, and but the object should be ready for stopping its movement. And then the red light hits and the buzzer hits means that the object should stop at this point. This is how the LED distance indicator works. Now Nitin will conclude this project with its uses.
Now, when we come to the uses of our project, when we come to the uses of our project, the LED distance indicator, the recent years the modern day cars come with highly specialized sensors and cameras, which is quite expensive and also complicated. But our project LED distance indicator can be a better alternative for everyone because it gives an exact distance for the obstacle to the driver, which can also prevent small and big accidents. Low model cars also do not offer many highly specialized cameras and sensors, so they can use LED distance indicator for their cars. So with this, we conclude our project. Thank you.
Thank you, Kopal and Nitin. It was very impressive. Now, I call upon our twin sisters, Nikita and Nandana of class 10A1 to present their invention during COVID-19, magnetic stirrer.
Good morning, everyone. Nandana and myself, Nikita, have chosen magnetic stirrer as our project. Magnetic stirrer is a laboratory device that employs a rotating magnetic field to cause an iron object immersed in a liquid to spin very quickly, thus stirring it. The rotating magnetic field may be created either by a rotating magnet or a set of stationary electromagnets placed beneath the vessel with the liquid. They work well in glass vessels commonly used for chemical reactions as glass does not affect a magnetic field. Factors on which the speed depends on distance between the vessel and stirrer surface, volume and viscosity of the solution, size of the stirring bar.
Thus, we see that this model works on using an external magnetic field for mixing the solution. Its basic principle is like charges repulses and unlike charges attracts. Thank you.
Thank you, Nandana and Nikita. That was marvelous. Now, I call upon Ashwini and Roshni of class 10A3 to present their food operator's sanitizer dispenser.
Hello friends and teachers, we are Roshni and Ashwini from 10A3 Ratan Tata Wing to perform a project on homemade hand sanitizer mission. First, let's have a basic knowledge on COVID-19. Coronavirus COVID-19 is an infectious disease which is caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. Most of the people infected with COVID-19 virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness and recover without requiring special treatment. Older people and those with underlying medical problems like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, chronic respiratory disease, and cancer are more likely to develop severe illness.
The COVID-19 coronavirus primarily spreads through the droplets of saliva or discharge from the nose. When an infected person coughs or sneezes, there is a chance of spreading. So, it's important that you also practice respiratory etiquette, for example, by coughing it into a Flex elbow. The best way to prevent and slow down our transmission is to be well informed about the COVID-19 virus, the ways it caused and how it spread.
Researchers say anywhere from 25 to 80% of people with COVID 19 are unaware that they have the virus. This allows the novel coronavirus to spread more rapidly throughout the community. Experts say these carriers without symptoms make it even more important for people to take preventive measures. The basic preventive measures which we should take is by using hand sanitizer as well as wearing a mask. If we buy a hand sanitizer to protect ourselves from this disease in the shop, it costs nearly rupees 180 per 500 ml, and people even say that these sanitizers after using for a short period of time becomes ineffective. So we are here to explain how to make a homemade hand sanitizer and a sanitizer machine. Now let's see how we make a homemade sanitizer. The upcoming video shows a demo to make this hand sanitizer. Hi everyone, I'm Roshni. I'm going to show how to make a homemade hand sanitizer. The materials required are aloe vera gel, almond oil, Dettol, perfume is needed, ethanol, and a glass to mix it all. Now, I'm going to take some aloe vera gel. And some ethanol. Along with it, few drops of Dettol, and it's better to take 10 ml of Dettol. And 2 to 3 drops of almond oil. Along with it, if you have perfume, you can use it. Stir this mixture until it gets mixed well. Mix it until it comes to this consistency. And after mixing well, you can pour it in these kinds of sprays. If you have these kinds of sprays, it's better to pour it, or else you can leave it as such by just having a lid like this. Thank you. Now, Ashwini is going to explain how to make this homemade hand sanitizer machine.
Our homemade hand sanitizer dispenser machine. The materials required for this project: a long tube, tape, homemade hand sanitizer, cardboard, 2 syringes.
Thank you, Ashwini and Rohini. That was very innovative. Over to Sai Deepika.
Poetry is a deal of joy, pain, and wonder with a dash of dictionary. Now, I call upon my friend Ashrita of 10A4 to recite a poem on awareness of COVID 19.
Warm greetings to respected teachers and my dear friends. I am Asita from class 10A4, here to recite a poem on coronavirus. Spread from a town in China, the coronavirus brings with it a terror. Spread from a town in China, the coronavirus brings with it a terror. It is a very stubborn virus that cannot be defeated with power. It wears a crown, flips your life upside down. It wears a crown, flips your life upside down. You don't want to mess with it unless and until you are healthy and fit. Spreads from simple contact and has a very huge impact. Spreads from a simple contact and has a very huge impact. It gets us coughing and sneezing, wobbling and wheezing. Many countries have been infected with no vaccine to be injected. Many countries have been infected with no vaccine to be injected. It's getting hard to withstand the despair and giving us all a big scare. It makes our body go numb and weak. It must not be considered meek. It makes our body go numb and weak. It must not be considered meek. And that is why we are placed in isolation, not a granted vacation. So let's not submit to it. Let's fight it together. So let's not submit to it. Let's fight it together. We must try and give our best. We must endeavor. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Wow, that was a marvelous and thought-provoking poem, Ashrita. Next, we have Nandakumar of Teneto to present his project on revolution of Earth and Mars using Scratch program.
Hello, welcome my dear friends and teachers. I'm going to talk about the simulation of revolution of Earth and Mars and some about it. Here's the video which is showing the revolution of simulation of revolution of Earth and Mars. The blue point refers the Earth and the red point refers the Mars. When the Earth and the Mars come to a line, it's close. The distance of the Earth and the Mars changes very dramatically. Let's go into some interesting facts about it. What is the Mars close approach? The close approach is when the Earth and the Mars comes to nearest to each other in the orbits close around the Sun. The close is the relative term. The minimum distance of the Earth to the Mars is about 54.6 million kilometers. However, it doesn't happen every often. If the Mars and the Earth have perfectly a circular orbit, the minimum distance would be always same. However, they have elliptical paths. In addition, the gravitation tugging by the planets constantly changes the shape of the orbit little bit. A giant Jupiter especially influences the orbit of the Mars. The red planet comes close enough for the essential viewing only once or twice every 15 to 17 years. In 2003, the Mars made its close approach to the Earth in nearly 60,000 years. It won't be that close again until the year 2020, 2287. When the Mars and the Earth are close to each other, make it easier to see with the telescope or naked eye. The illustration of the orbit of the Mars and around the Sun is during this close approach. This is the image of it. When does the Mars close approach occurs? The Mars close approach happens every 26 months. It's closely related to the Mars opposition or Mars retrograde. Since the Mars and Earth are the closest, it's generally the best time to go to the Mars. So many Mars missions have been taken advantage of this close distance to visit the red planet. And on the year 2009 and 2016, they skipped the opportunity to send the Mars missions. Next Mars approach, close approach in 2020. The next Mars close approach is October 6, 2020. The red planet will be only 38.6 million miles from the Earth. An artist view of the Mars during the close approach in 2018 and 2020. Mars in our night sky. If you were to look up the in eastern sky at the same time, in each night, and note where the Mars appears to be compared to the constellation of stars, and the Mars appears to move from the west to the east from one night to the next. Every year, every 2 years or so, there are a couple of months when the Mars position from the night to night seems to change the direction and move east to west. This strange behavior was very puzzling to the early sky watchers. Mars retrogrades happens every 2 years. The two planets are like the race cars on an oval track. The Earth has inside lane and the moves faster than Mars. So much of faster, in fact, that it makes the two laps around the course in about as much time it takes to the Mars to go around one. About every 26 months, Earth comes behind and overtakes Mars. While we are passing by the red planet this year, it will look like to us through the Mars is moving up and down. Then, as we move farther along our curved orbit, see the planet from the different angle, the illusion will disappear, and we will once again see the Mars moves in a straight line. This is the apparent erratic movement is called the retrograde motion. This illusion happens with the Jupiter and other planets that orbit farther from Sun. It as if the two planets were on the separate tracks. That's the little tilted with respect to each other. This causes another strange illusion. Suppose you are to draw a dot on a sky map. Each night you will show the mass appears as it moves forward, goes through the retrograde, then resumes its forward motion. To connect the dots, you will see either the loop or the open zigzag. The planet depends on the Earth and the Mars happens to be tilted on the racetrack orbits. This is the retrograde motion which is captured on 2014 and 2016. This is the small video of the retrograde motion of Mars. This is the picture captured on 2003 and 2005. Solar conjunction. All spacecraft have become virtually incommunicate for about 2 weeks for every 2 years in Mars due to the reason of solar conjunction. Solar conjunction is the period when the Mars and Earth and the Mars in eternal march around the Sun are obscured from each other by the fiery orb of the Sun itself. The solar conjunction monitoring is or command the Mars spacecraft is between the August 28 and September 7, 2019, when the Mars is within the 2 degree of the Sun. Mission controller at NASA responds in variety ways. They turn off some instruments, they collect data from the others and store it. In some case, they have continued sending the data to the Earth, knowing that some data will lose. Mostly, no one attempts to send a new instruction to the Mars during solar conjunction. Before the solar conjunction, the mission team sends up any necessary commands. This is a picture of solar conjunction. A small video of solar conjunction.
What happens when the sun blocks our signal? About every 2 years, Earth and Mars wind up on opposite sides of the sun. That's called solar conjunction. It's like being on either side of a huge bonfire. We can't see Mars, and our landers, rovers, and orbiters can't see us. If our spacecraft send back signals, charged particles from the sun could interfere, causing gaps in the data that reach us. That's not a big deal. If something's missing, it can always be resent later. But no way do we want to lose data when we send up commands. Receiving a partial command could confuse the spacecraft, putting them in grave danger. So mission controllers plan ahead by sending up simple to-do lists, including regular health checkups. Back home, this break in communications lets team members catch up on other work, or take a well-deserved vacation. Solar conjunction lasts just a few weeks, then it's back to the grindstone, on Earth and on Mars.
Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.
You actually took us to space. Thank you so much, Nandakumar. Next, I call upon my friend Akshaya of 10A4 to present her project on Kepler 452b.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Akshay of Chennai, here to explain about Kepler 452b.
We are going to discuss about Kepler 452b. Situated 1400 light years away from Earth, Kepler 452b, also known as Earth 2.0, orbits a sun-like star named Kepler 452. The planet is a rocky super-Earth. It is 5 times heavier than Earth and orbits around its parent star in the habitable zone. Kepler 452b is from the most potential exoplanet candidates capable of supporting life. In fact, scientists have already started scanning radio transmission coming from Kepler 452b. Traveling to Kepler 452b using flexible technology is impossible. It would take almost 26 million years for us to get there at the speed of New Horizons spacecraft. Kepler 452b might look similar to Earth in many aspects, except it would be very huge in size. It still hasn't been confirmed whether Kepler 452b has a thick atmosphere or liquid ocean on its surface. Kepler 452b might have many active volcanoes owing to its higher mass and density. This would also make the planet surrounded by thick and misty clouds, covering much of its surface as seen from Earth. The planet takes about 385 days to orbit its star, which is very close to the time taken by Earth to complete one revolution around the Sun. Kepler 452b has a radius 50% bigger than Earth. Since the planet receives 10% more sunlight from its parent star than Earth, it's a little bit warmer. The planet is also not tidally locked with its parent star. These features make Kepler 452b very similar to Earth, which is why astronomers named it Earth 2.0. Since the parent star of Kepler 452b is 1.4 billion older than Earth, there is a chance that Kepler 452b might have lost its atmosphere due to increased energy output coming from its parent star. However, since the planet is much more massive than the Earth, the planet's gravity might hold on the atmosphere for a much longer time as compared to Earth. Whatever the planet would become difficult due to the increased gravity. What we know about the planet is very less, but with whatever data we have, we can conclude that the planet is a promising candidate for supporting life, and that is where humans should go first if all our planets became unsuitable for living.
That was an entrancing project. Thank you, Akshaya. Now we have our friends Kavin Vendan, Yadunandan, Tarun V, Bhavna, and Pooja Shri of Chennai 1 to present their projects on NASA at Home Dyson Sphere.
Hi, and good afternoon to everyone. We are here to produce a project about a Dyson sphere. For humans to proceed from a planetary species to an interstellar one, humans need far more energy we can find on Earth. Where can we get that from? Our only source is the sun, which is also a star. So in 1960, astrophysicist Freeman Dyson came up with an idea to harness the power of the sun. The idea was a Dyson sphere. A Dyson sphere is a theoretical mega engineering project that completely encircles a star. It is the ultimate solution for living space and energy production, providing its creators ample space for habitation and the ability to capture every bit of solar energy emitting from the central star. Now I pass on to Yedu.
The next time you are filling up your car's gas tank, take a moment to remember that fossil fuels are a finite resource. Eventually, humanity will need to fulfill its hunger for energy from other sources. The solution, perhaps, is in the stars, or more accurately, our sun. Imagine filling a vehicle's tank not with gasoline, but with pure sunshine. In some distant future, this could happen. Over to Pujashri.
Above the sphere. This theory meant a search to be made for exchanges of any civilization in other stars, mostly non-communicative. That is, uncommunicative civilization can be detected through infrared radiation, provided they use the flow of energy. According to Russian astrophysicist Nikolai, civilization is of three types. Type 1 controls resources of planet. Type 2 controls resources of stars. Type 3 controls resources of galaxy. Dyson sphere helps us to become type 2 civilization. What it consists of? Dyson sphere consists of a shell of solar collectors around the stars. With the model, all of the energy would hit a receiving surface where it can be used. If focused, escaping solar energy can be used intelligent purpose, which can be detected by artificial biosphere. If we want to create the Dyson sphere from sun, it could be the energy radiated by the sun in 800 years to create artificial infrared source. Although such megaspheres are theoretically possible, building them using present day engineering is currently impossible. Thank you.
That was commendable. Thank you, guys. Next, I call upon Sugandha Krishnan, Mohammad Yusuf Khan, and Tejanand of 10A4 to present their project on NASA space station.
Hello everyone. Myself Tejanandan and my friend Yusuf are here to share a few information about the space station. Yusuf will go with a short summary about the space station.
Hello everyone, I am here to say about the space station. What is a space station? A space station is nothing but a spacecraft present in the space which lands landing capacity. The main function of space stations are used for space researchers in the space, that is in the outer space. The space station will be mainly in the lower orbit. And then Salyut 1 is the first space station sent to the space by Soviet Union in April 1971. And the ISS, the International Space Station. International Space Station is a multinational collaborative project by top 5 space agencies
known as NASA from United States and JAXA from Japan, ESA from Europe and CSA from Canada and Roscosmos from Russia. And the space station would have a docking system, especially which allows the spacecraft to dock with the space station to supply crew and human members. Now my friend Tejanand will say some facts about space stations.
I have interesting facts to say about the space station. The space station is a large spacecraft which serves as the home for the astronauts. The first space station was launched in 1998. There are 16 nations involved in the construction of this space station, which cost around $120 billion. Peggy Whitson set a record of spending most time in living and working in the space station for about 655 days on September 2017. Thank you.
That was a noteworthy project, guys. Thank you so much. And next we have Mukesh and Lalit Kishore of 10A4 to exhibit their project on COVID-19, the charming mystery.
Hello guys, here me and my friend Mukesh Mithun is here to speak about spread of SARS-CoV-2 and its impact. Spread of COVID-19 in India. The first case of COVID-19 in India was in Kerala on 30th January. But in the February, the number of cases of COVID-19 was the single-digit number. The main reason for this is the lack of testing facility for COVID-19. On March, the number of cases grew high in India. So there was a launch of nationwide lockdown in India. I believe you all would remember one event that took place in India on April 5 on the 9 p.m. We all switched off our light and we lighted up the candles for the protest against the COVID-19. Now, currently, the number of cases of COVID-19, daily new cases and the daily deaths have been increased a lot. The total number of cases now is about 76,83,116 cases. The daily new cases and the daily deaths have been increasing number. What would be the main reason for this terrible spread of COVID-19 in India? The main reason for it is the lack of awareness among people for this terrible disease. Some of the people who are not aware about this COVID-19 have been moving out even though it is a strict lockdown. They are simply moving out to look how the lockdown is and they're getting punished by the police. The impact of COVID-19. The COVID-19 have affected our day-to-day life and our healthcare and our economics and our social issues. Healthcare. There have been a burden in the medical. There have been an overloading of medical shops and there have been a disruption in medical supply chain. In the economic, the day-to-day life business have been a slowdown and the slowing of manufacturing of essential goods, and there was a poor cash flow in the market. In the socials, many of them would have known there have been a postponement of examinations, closing of swimming pools, restaurants, religious temples, etc. for the protection of people from COVID-19. Now, you may all have a doubt whether this pandemic will end or not. Now, Mukesh will say when this pandemic will end and the vaccination conditions for the COVID-19. Over to Mukesh.
So hello members, hello who are all watching this. I want to say that first, before knowing when will this end, let's know the current stat, how this is spreading in India. I will take only two states here, that is nothing but Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. In Tamil Nadu, over recent times, we have a super spreaders. These super spreaders are nothing but a normal people spread COVID-19 from 1 to 2 members. But these super spreaders, what they do, they spread 6 to 7 members. So simply, they spread more than what normal people do. So in this case, what happens that due to this super spreaders are increased over in India, so the cases will be keep on increasing. Why these super spreaders get increased? The reason is that they don't know they have COVID-19. They are being asymptomatic. And when they exposed to office what the office members also get this COVID-19. So more than 6 hours, these people along with them, and more the people who are along with them in house, they too get. And even children play part in the super spreaders. How? Yes, the children less than 16%, 16 ages have been showing that they spread COVID-19 among their ages. For simply they speak to their friend and play with them. So they get COVID-19 contracted. And they spread it to their family members, their father and grandfather. And they spread it by going outside. So simply, therefore, the children are being a first block for this spread of COVID-19. So they started and the parents ended. So this may not be bad for children, but it may be very bad for their grandfather and their parents. And then when we come to this vaccination, is for the permanent end of this COVID-19, we want a vaccine. This vaccine will not arrive fully throughout this world until 2024. The leading 8 vaccinations are around this world leading. The number 1 is the AstraZeneca's and Oxford's vaccination. Still, it has been paused 2 times due to side effects. So therefore, we can't say which vaccine will be exact over time. So the vaccination without side effect only can be given to a large population. Otherwise, it wouldn't be useful. So therefore, we want to wait. It will take minimum 1 or 2 years for this vaccination's production. This is very fast when compared to the all other diseases vaccination production. So therefore, we have to wait until then we have to follow all the safety measures, and then only we can control it. Otherwise, this will be continuing till now. So if you want to end and get back to a new normal, we all want to work serious for three months of following all the social responsibilities. And this is not a prevention. You are saving other people when you follow this. If you also have a disease, you are stopping others from receiving the disease. So this is a social responsibility rather than a prevention method. Thank you.
Oh, that was truly amazing. Thank you so much, friends. And now I welcome Giriharan and Sriman of 10A2 to present their project on how NASA colorizes space photos.
RGB. This is all the light in the universe that we can see. It's just a fraction of what's out there. Most of frequencies of light are actually invisible to us. The light that we see appears red at its lowest and violet at its highest. This is called the visible spectrum. And we see it because cells in our eyes called cones interpret light reflecting from objects in correspondence to red, green, and blue. These are the primary colors of light. Every other color is some combination of these 3, and that combination is the guiding principle in colorizing photos. Broadband color. The Hubble Space Telescope has been hovering the Earth since 1990. It has been capturing some images, but they are in black and white.
Giriharan, excuse me, da. Are you presenting any screen? Giriharan,
Yes.
are you presenting any screen? Now only your screen is visible. Yes. Carry on, carry on.
Scientists use images like programs like Photoshop to colorize photos. For example, in Saturn, to colorize Saturn, we are using red, green, and blue, and join them together to form a true image. Narrowband color. Scientists use colors to map out how different gases interact in the universe to form galaxies and nebulae. Hubble can record very narrow bands of light coming from individual elements like oxygen and carbon and use color to track their presence in an image. This is called narrowband filtering. The most common application of narrowband filtering isolates light from hydrogen, sulfur, and oxygen, three building blocks of stars. Hubble's most famous example of this is called the pillars of creation, which captured huge towers of gas and dust forming new star systems. But this isn't the true image like the one of Saturn. It's more of a colorized map. Hydrogen and sulfur are both seen naturally in red light and oxygen is more blue. Coloring these gases as we actually see them would produce red, and cyan. And the image form will be like this. Not as useful for visual analysis. In order to get a full color image and visually separate the sulfur from the hydrogen, scientists assign the elements to red, green, and blue according to their place in the chromatic order. It means that since oxygen has the highest frequency of the three, it's assigned blue, and since hydrogen is red but a higher frequency than sulfur, it gets green. The result is a full color image mapping out the process by which our solar system might have formed. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, friends. That was impressive. Next, we have our friend Kavyashri of 10A2 to exhibit her static model of COVID-19.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am R. Kavyashri of class 10A2, and today I am going to talk about symptoms of COVID-19 and prevention from COVID-19. We all know that COVID-19 is a contagious disease impacting the whole world. The virus spread by the respiratory droplets generated from the cough or sneeze of a COVID-19 patient. The symptoms can be very mild to severe. The most common symptoms are fever, cough, breathing problem, fatigue, sore throat, and muscle pain. In order to prevent from COVID-19, a person must wash his or her hands regularly. It is the most important thing to prevent us from COVID-19. Let me show an experiment that washing our hand is an important thing to prevent from COVID-19. I have took a cup of water and sprinkled some pepper. Imagine that this pepper is a germ covered on our hand. Now here what happens when you use soap and wash your hand. The germ gets moved away. So we should wash our hands regularly. Wear a mask. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth and nose. Maintain social distance. Together we all can bring an end to this pandemic. Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you, Kavyashri. And now I'm happy to welcome Aksha Paulin of 10A4 to exhibit her space station model.
Good morning, everyone. I am Aksha Paulin. I'm going to be presenting about space stations. My project includes topics like what is a space station, history of space station, timeline, and some facts about them. A space station is also known as an orbital station or an orbital spacecraft. It is helpful in supporting a human crew in the orbit for an extended period of time. It has docking ports that allow other spacecraft to transfer crew and supplies. The purpose of a spacecraft varies depending upon the program. Most of the space stations have been launched for scientific purposes, but some military launches have also been occurred. As of 2020, only one fully operational and permanent inhabited space station is in the lower Earth orbit, which is called the International Space Station. It is used to study the effect of long-term space flight on human body and to provide location to conduct a greater number and longer length of scientific studies than it is possible on other vehicles. The first mention of a space station occurred in the book called The Brick Moon by Edward Everett Hale in 1869. To give serious scientifically grounded consideration, two scientists, Konstantin Tsiolkovsky and Hermann Oberth, rotate 2 decades apart early in the 20th century. The first rotating wheel space station to create artificial gravity was published in Problem of Space Travel. During the later half of 20th century, the Soviet Union developed and launched the world's first station, Salyut 1. Following the development of Salyut 1, the Almaz and the Salyut series were eventually joined by Skylab, Mir, Tiangong 1 and Tiangong 2. The current space station is the International Space Station. It is in the lower Earth orbit and it is a habitable artificial satellite. It is a collaborative project between NASA, JAXA, ESA, CSA and Roscosmos. It is serves as a microgravity and space research laboratory in which scientific research is conducted in astrobiology, astronomy, meteorology, physics and other fields. It is suitable for testing the spacecraft system. It is the ninth space station to be inhabited by crews, following the Soviet and later named Russian Salyut, Almaz, Mir station and US Skylab. It is the largest artificial object in space and largest satellite in the lower Earth orbit, regularly visible to the naked eye from Earth's surface. It maintains an orbit of 400 km, 250 meters by means of reboot maneuvers using the engine of the Zevera Science Module or visiting spacecraft. It circles the Earth in 93 minutes, completing 15.5 orbits per day. It is divided into two sections, the Russian orbital segment, operated by Russia, and the United States orbital segment, operated by the USA. It has habitation modules, structural trusses, photovoltaic solar arrays, thermal radiators, docking ports, experiment bays, and robotic arms. It has been launched by Russian Proton and Soyuz rockets and US space shuttles. As of 2019, 239 astronauts, cosmonauts, space tourists from 19 different nations have visited the space station, many of them multiple times. This includes 151 Americans, 47 Russians, 9 Japanese, 8 Canadians, 5 Italians, 4 French, 3 Germans, and one of them each from Belgium, Brazil, Denmark, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, the Netherlands, South Africa, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, the United Arab Emirates, and the United Kingdom. The space stations keep developing. The upcoming projects are the Lunar Gateway, which is planned to be in 2024 in the Artemis program of NASA. The Artemis program is the program which is planned to send the first woman and the next man to the lunar south pole of the moon. It is a project led by NASA, while the Gateway is a collaboration between Canada, Europe, and Japan. It is formerly known as the Deep Space Gateway and was later renamed Lunar Orbital Platform Gateway in NASA's 2018 proposal for the 2019 United States federal budget. It includes all of the space station partners. This is a list of space stations right from the creation of the first space station by humans in 1971, the Salyut, till 2000, the Mir, and presently it is in continuation with the International Space Station, which might future be added with the Lunar Gateway program. Here are some facts on Space Station. 290 individuals from 19 countries have visited the International Space Station. It has been continuously occupied since November 2000. An international crew of 6 people live and work while traveling at a speed of 5 miles per second. In 24 hours, it makes 16 orbits of Earth, traveling to 16 sunrises and 16 sunsets. Peggy Winston set the record for spending the most time living and working in space at 665 days on September 2, 2017. 8 miles of wire connects the electrical power system aboard the space station. Astronauts and cosmonauts have conducted 230 spacewalks and still counting for space station construction, maintenance, and upgrades since 1998 of December. The 55-foot robotic canadram has 7 different joints and 2 end effectors or hands and is used to move entire modules. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aksha. You gave us a lot of information. So yes, guys, everyone, thank you so much for your patience, for patiently listening to all the projects. And now let's have a short lunch break for about half an hour, that is from 12:30 to 1 o'clock. And let's resume the remaining part of the session at 1 o'clock. Until then, stay tuned and join at 1 o'clock. Thank you.